Today in Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone. I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I myself am recovering from traveling rapid speeds, well, not really rapid speeds, but long duration to Rochester to visit my 24-year-old, but glad to be home and catching up on some wonderful things going on across the city. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blues for Veterans Festival coming up. We're going to talk about a wonderful organization, Maccas Mission, and what's going on there. And of course, as always, welcome, Scott. We're going to start with things happening across the city.
Yeah, how are you doing, Samantha?
I'm good, thank you. Did
Good.
you have a nice long weekend?
I did. It was good, nice. There was a lot going on in the city this week. The past weekend, we had the, on Sunday there was the 9/11 memorial down at Hon Pond. The Lions Club does a nice job with that, and to try to get some of the younger kids involved from the Joyce with the Cub Club, and then the high school has the Leo Club. So they try to get involvement so people remember, and as they say, never forget. So it was really an important event in our history. So it was nice to be there yesterday. There's a good crowd, and that was on Sunday, and then Saturday there was the it was a motorcycle run, and that was a busy day, and also softball tournament for Jack McGuire. So it was pretty busy around here.
It was very busy. I missed a lot while I was driving the Mass Pike.
Yeah,
and I did get to visit a little bit in between, which was fun, but like I said, glad to be home. We had also the primary elections were happening, and we don't have to go over the results. Aren't hugely meaningful until the elections actually happen, but the primary data is available for anyone who's interested in that. Anything that you wanted to particularly share?
No, I think that it was just to compliment Lindsay Higgins, the city clerk, and all the poll workers. They did a great job. So they had the early voting, which went for a week, so they worked really hard, and did a good job making it easy for people to vote. So hats off to Lindsay and her staff, and the library clerk, the election clerks. They all did a great job.
Yeah, it's always so important when that happens. I love that. I also am very excited. This Thursday night, there's a workshop for open space recreation department is sponsoring to get feedback from the community about our long-term recreational space plans. That's happening at the library, and I think I'm just checking my notes. I think it starts at 6:30. I did notice that it overlaps with back to school night for elementary schools. Will there be a second session for those who might not be able to?
Oh yeah, there's more than one. There's definitely another one. There's working groups, and again, this is, I think, the second time ours just expired, or it just expired. So we're working on the renewal, and we did it in 2015. It is online. If people do want to take a look at the expiring open space plan, we put a lot of work into it, and some of the things we followed through with, some we didn't. So this will be the next phase that we'd like to extend that and get public input about some of the important, public space missions that they'd like to see. Recreation, public space, and recreation. We've done a really good job with upgrades across the city. We haven't bought as much open space as we like, but again, we have, working with the city council, we bought more open space, I think, than ever as I say, in the most recent history in the city. We've added quite a bit of open space, well over 100 acres. So we're proud of that. And now we'd like to develop it.
Yeah.
Not develop it for recreation.
Use it for recreational purposes, develop it for recreation. I'm with you. I hope a lot of people come, because there's so many different communities in our city that have an opportunity to have a say in the kinds of things that we develop. So definitely encourage people to do that. One of the other things I wanted to just bring up, Scott, was we have a recycle drive coming up, and I know people always ask about this. There's appliances and like computer electronic things that are a recycle drive on the 17th. That's happening at Spence Farm. The fees for that are significantly less than if we just did it through the routine appointment setting that we might do through pickup. So it's a great opportunity for people to drop things off there. Yeah,
that is a good one, and that's that's the Medeiros Recycling Group. So they do that at Spence Farm. Right around now they'll do it monthly, and it's good for people, people who have items building up in their garage or their basement. So it's September is always a busy month and they do really well. And, you know, October, November, then they start tailing off a little bit, but it'll be a busy one. And, they're always looking for volunteers to help out down there too. So it's at Spence Farm on Saturday.
That's great. And I know we have a couple of COVID clinics. The new booster that protects against the most current strain of COVID has been approved. And I know there's a couple of clinics coming up. People can check the city website for information.
Yeah, that'll be this Thursday. There'll be one 4:30 to 6:30. And so that'll be good. And then they plan on doing one the following month. And so it's a good opportunity to get the booster. And this is supposed to be an effective booster. So, urging people to get out and get their booster.
That's great. Anything else you wanted to touch base about, Scott?
We sent out a letter this weekend. It probably hit the PFAS educational piece. I know you're up to speed on it, but that was sent out to households across the city to let them know, we did have a August testing that was slightly above the 20 parts per trillion, which is the maximum contaminant level that the DEP wants to see in your water. So we sent that out to households across the city. We'll be having a further update with the city council in their first meeting in October. So we'll keep an eye on the website. We can talk about that maybe in the lead up to maybe the last year in September. We can have a preview of the October meeting and hype that up a little so people can see what's going on and the steps we're taking to eliminate PFAS.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to invite whoever you think would be appropriate for that. I think that'd be great. My 20-year-old got one of the letters from the city and felt very important that they had one addressed to them.
Well, one of the we used the census list, and what we did was we sent it to one per household, and we thought that that was how we wanted to do it. Otherwise, we could have sent 5 letters to your house, and people would have been like, "What are you sending all these letters? It's a waste of money." But we wanted to make sure that one house per census got a letter, and we sent them out last week. So we're hoping that was a success. And as I said, if your son got it, I'm sure he shared it with you and your husband.
He certainly did. His first reaction was, "What is the city sending me? Like, is it an excise tax bill or something?" Yeah. And then was deeply relieved when he was able to open it, say, "Oh, it's PFAS. Here, Mom, I know you'll want to read that." So it worked as designed, I think, which was. And
again, if anybody's listening, if they have any questions, we're encouraging them to call my office or the water department to get further information.
That's great. Thanks for joining us, Scott, as always. Thanks. I'm really excited to welcome Maureen and Chris to join me now. They are founders of Maccas Mission. I'm really pleased to meet you both. Welcome.
Thank you for having us, Samantha. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
So Maccas Mission was founded in honor of Justin. Tell us a little bit about who Justin was.
So Justin was the youngest of our 4 children. And go ahead, Chris, you do it. Go ahead. Sometimes my emotions get the better.
He was a very understanding young man, and he was a team leader in all his undertakings. With the neighborhood kids, with the sports teams that he played on. He enjoyed music. He enjoyed family activities and such. Very, very intelligent. He seemed to understand things very, very, very easily. And even through his addiction, I could tell that he understood where he thought he should be. But he was a good all around soulful kid,
and clearly well loved, and a real reminder to us that addiction could face anyone. And it's his tragic death from an overdose was he was had such a wonderful family and so many things going for him, and yet this addiction unfortunately cut his life short. When that happened, Maureen, tell us where you turned for support and help. Were there resources that you, either during his addiction or afterwards?
So during the beginning of what we, came to find out was the addiction, we didn't have a lot of information. We knew something was going on, but we didn't know the depths of it. When Justin finally in September of 2019 asked for help, that he got addicted to opioids and was desperately trying to come off of them, that's when our education process began, our research. So we got him into detox that day. And a week of detox at the end, we got a call, updating us and telling us about this meeting in Stoneham, originated out of Portland, Maine. It's where he went to detox, called the Family Restored. And we started going every week between Justin's went to rehab, then he went to sober living. And I have to say they were amazing. It's run by people in recovery. They give scholarships to sober living, and they really got our whole family on the same page, got us educated about different programs. Because in the past, Justin struggled in, psychiatric visits and one overdose, but came right home and realizing that wasn't the best for him. So the Family Restored, I give a great, anyone going through it, some has someone in active addiction or in recovery, it's for the family. It's amazing. We used to go Tuesday nights at Stoneham. And when Justin passed, it kind of left a hole, because we've been going weekly, and it wasn't for us anymore. Our son didn't survive his relapse. And so we've had some brief things, but Justin's COVID started, 6 weeks after Justin passed, and everything kind of shut down. So we've done some, online brief things. And I have to say, Justin's friends, our family, we have 3 amazing children and a wonderful daughter-in-law. They really keep us going. They really have so support. The city of Woburn has been great. His friends, it's been very supportive.
Thank you for sharing that. I can't imagine that happening to a family member, someone that I love. You're so strong to try and turn something positive of that. Chris, tell us a little bit about Macca's Mission and what that's all about.
When we lost our son, and we were aggressively enthusiastic that he was going to recover, and we had a lot of motivation behind ourselves, and we vowed to each other that we weren't going to we lost our son, but we vowed that we would not give up our effort to help people in recovery that really need it. It was a tragedy that we lost our son, but through that loss, we kind of vowed to each other that we would keep the drive alive, and it wasn't our first choice. We lost our first choice of who we wanted to help, but if we can help somebody else, then we wanted to do that. And I think we've been successful. We've getting the word out to reduce the stigma of addiction. There's a lot of emotion. People try to hide it, and just deceitful behavior is one of the symptoms of addiction, and people feel ashamed, and just to understand what the disease is about, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with the disease if you understand what you're dealing with. And if you try to sweep it under the rug, then it's never going to get dealt with. And if you can accept the fact that you may be affected, or a loved one may be affected, then you can therefore go after the appropriate treatment, almost as if it was a cancer disease or a heart disease. If you understand that you have these diseases, then you can follow a path of recovery, via chemo or blood pressure treatments or what. There's a lot of similarities between the disease of addiction and other medical diseases. So
thank you for sharing that, Chris. This is, I can't imagine watching someone who's trying to recover and the tragedy that led. Maureen, what do you want Woburn families to know about addiction and how they might get involved to help either a loved one or someone in the community that they see?
So addiction and addiction runs, I have to say, it runs in every family in some way or form. I'm an Irish family, so alcohol is in my family's, past, future, present. But addiction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't make a difference who you are or where background you come from. If you are born if you have an addictive personality, it just, and obviously Justin did. And I want them to know that there is help. We know so much more now than we did 3-4 years ago when symptoms after his first year of college. We feel like we know more, we can educate more. And even the process of finding detox and rehabs and insurance things, I want them to know there's help, and maybe we can be helpful to them in some way, reach out. I mean, we don't know everything, but we know more than we used to. And you don't want any other family to go through this. It's nothing I would wish on anybody, though. I have to say, the people that I've met, the strong people, there's so many lives that have been lost. The people that I've met that have lost lives or people in recovery are an amazing group of people. They really are amazing. And I'm fortunate to know them now. And I feel like, my family will continue Justin's legacy. And if they need help, they reach out. Family Restored, I know there's some other groups out there, but I highly recommend them you could call them day or night, anytime, and ask them for, advice. And we're still in touch with them, and some of them own sober houses, and we're still involved and very close to them. And there is a lot of answers out there now. Maybe the stigma is getting a little better. I just, when Justin passed, we wanted it out there in his obituary, what he died from, only because maybe that will help somebody else who doesn't. And relapses nowadays, Justin died from cocaine laced with fentanyl. Relapses, you don't always get a second chance now. It could be life or death these days. And reach out for help if you need it.
Yeah, that is really important advice. And you're brave to share what happened so that other people can learn from and know that there's help and hopefully identify those in needs that they love and care about. I know that you did a fundraiser in June. Tell us about how those funds are being used, and if you're still accepting donations, how people can get in touch with you with those.
Yeah, we had a what we felt was a very successful fundraiser, and just in talking with the whole group of people as an introduction, a lot of the people that signed up to they thought they were signing up for a basketball tournament, and that's what it was, and it was intended to be fun, and it was a lot of fun. But I had a number of people come to me, during intermissions and whatnot between games, with a heartfelt acknowledgement of how our story is very similar to things that they're going through, either themselves or with other family members. So we're funding scholarships of recovery to individuals actively working on their recovery. And I think we just got news today that we're awarding a scholarship to one of the women's groups to help with a person who's been vetted from the organizations as really a quality person who's actively trying to recover and might not have the means to do so without some sort of assistance. And that's exactly what we're all about, is helping people who need it, and more than that, people that actively want to have chosen to go down that path and work on their recovery, where addiction is it's not something that you can control, and you really need a lot of help to in your recovery. It doesn't happen easily.
Well, what a gift that you're giving to someone with that hope and support, and what a wonderfully beautiful way to honor your son. We're so grateful that you shared that with us. Maureen, before I let you go, is there any way that you want us as a community to help support, either through donations or awareness or other ways that we can make sure to honor your son, but also help those who might be in the community in need right now?
Yes, so we have multiple, we have our website, maccasmission.com, without the apostrophe. Macca was his nickname for all his friends and some of his family, because a lot of people don't associate it if they don't know him, didn't know that was his nickname. Maccasmission.com, we have the website that's being updated. One of his great friends from high school is updating it, and you can donate there, and has a little bit about Justin and different things. And we're on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn now, I think. And I just, it fills a hole in our heart that's never going to be fully filled, but just helping sending that money to that girl today, that woman, it just makes moving forward day to day so much better. So you can check out our website. We'll be updating it. My kids all got the login, so they're updating it as we go. And we'll have some more we've had shirt fundraisers, and the Boys and Girls Club, I have to give a shout out, Julie Gage and all her family. They were so great to let us use their facility, and that's going to be a yearly thing, an annual basketball tournament. And so we're very grateful to the city of Woburn, and our information is on there, our email, if anyone ever wants to talk privately. We are happy to give whatever input or help that we can give.
Thank you both so much for joining us. And please, if you're watching, you likely know someone who has been touched by addiction in some way, whether it's someone personally who's abducted a family member or a friend, an observation. And it's so important that we talk about it and we help people understand where help advice. And I'm so grateful to Maureen and Chris, you and your whole family and network for providing a way for many of us feel powerless to help. And this is a tangible way we can help. We can help people in recovery have a little bit of hope and a little bit of extra support. So thank you again for your reaching out and for talking with us today. And
thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Thank you for having us. Yeah,
my pleasure. We're going to invite Mike and Bill to come on board next, and we're going to talk about Blues for Veterans and some fantastic music that is coming our way. Welcome. Mike, I'll ask you first. Tell us a little bit about the festival and what we have all this goodness coming up.
Okay, well, the festival is going to be this coming Saturday, September 17th. It's from 1 to 8:30. And we have 6 bands, $20, which is probably the cheapest blues festival in the United States of America. And we get a lot of good sponsorship from the community and whatnot. But 6 bands, beer. Let's see if I'm sounding like I'm a Boston hack here. Beer and wine. And, hot dogs, sausages, burgers, all the festival food, fried dough, ice cream.
You're talking my language, fried dough and ice cream. That's pretty incredible. I love it. That's really fantastic. Bill, tell us a little bit about where the festival started from and how this came to be. And this is something I know we do on an annual basis.
Mike Deva, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong on anything. Mike had gone to a festival up in New Hampshire, and he looked around, and you want to go with that part of it, Mike?
Sure. We used to have a place up in Freedom, New Hampshire. And when we were driving up to North Conway, we would always be going by King Pine, which is a little ski area. And I used to say, oh, it'd be a great place to have a music festival. That'd be a great place to have a music festival. And my wife would kind of go like, what? What are you talking about? And I said, well, it just looks like it'd be a nice place to have a music festival. A blues festival, because I like the blues. But then one day I said, well, you're 107 miles away. You don't know anybody up there. Why not Library Park Blues Festival? And I started throwing that phrase around. And they were like, that sounds pretty cool. And next thing you know, I'm talking to Bill. Bill and I have been friends for a long, long time. And we're all active in the American Legion. and, various other people, Joe Simus, his wife, Irene, all people that are active in the community. Mark Gaffney, who was on the city council at the time. Billy's daughter, Jennifer, just whatever. We started an organization. We filled out all the paperwork for our 501(c), and the Library Park Blues Festival was born 10 years ago. This is the 10th annual Library Park. The first one was in 13. And September.
Happy double digits. That is great. I know King Pond because that's where my kids learned to ski. We had a little place up near there, but I'm very glad that you brought this to Woburn instead. So that's super exciting to do that. Tell us a little bit, Bill, where people can buy tickets and participate.
Yeah, it's basically you can buy them at the American Legion on 194 Lexington Street in Woburn. You can buy them from me, Bill Murray, 781-953-5005. I don't believe that we have any online sales. Am I correct, Michael?
Well, it says you can buy tickets. It's at least on our flyer. It says you can buy tickets available at bluesforveterans.org.
Okay.
What you can do there is reserve tickets. I don't know if you can actually purchase tickets.
And then we'll call them.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's great. So go online, reserve your tickets, or check out one of those in-person places. Mike, tell us a little bit about where the funds that you raise as part of this process, where do they end up and how do they help?
We've had a lot of good support over the course of time. Some, Wallace Chrysler Jeep over there on the west side of Woburn has been a big sponsor of ours. Lynch Cantillon, Lawton Realty. I don't want to get into all the, because I'm going to miss people because there's a whole bunch of people. But, like I say, Lynch Cantillon, Mulcairn, Joanne Mulcairn, her realty outfit. Just a lot of people have given us consistent support over the course of time. And we've given, thousands of dollars to helping our troops who mail packages to all the soldiers that are overseas serving our country. And that's a good organization. And so we try to be more a support organization. We don't have a dedicated funding situation. We've done wheelchair ramps for guys to get out of their house. We've done shower bars for people in their house. We've sponsored the crafts program at the Edith North VA Hospital in Bedford. We've given them thousands and thousands of dollars because those guys are stuck there. They're our peers. Billy was in the Army. I was in the Army. Most of the people involved in our organization do this because of the military situation, if you want to call it that, the connection. And like I say, Billy and I have been active in the American Legion for a lot of years. And it's just been a great organization. We've had so much fun. And when people come to that festival, they see the fun and the money goes to where it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? Every dime we raise, we've given away well over $100,000 to veterans in need. And that's the crafts program at the VA, whether we're putting on music at the Soldiers Home in Chelsea, those kind of things, just trying to improve the lives of people that have given it all for us, just about. Some of these people are just, brain trauma or injuries, and we're over there playing music for them, and you can see them wiggling their finger a little, or they're tapping their toe. But it's a great feeling for us. We have so much fun.
Well, happy 10th anniversary, and Woburn, I hope that many of you will be able to go out. It's a great night of music. It's a great opportunity to give back a little bit and to help out veterans who certainly have sacrificed for us. Thank you both so much for joining me. And Woburn, as always, please continue to take good care of each other.